So I'm back. So reading through some documentation, keyboard related structures, the scan code field is a hardware specific and should be ignored unless you know what you're doing. Well, I obviously don't know what I'm doing, so I should not be using scan field. But the sim field is the SDL key value of the key being pressed release. The mod field describes the state of the keyboard modifiers at the time. So I'm guessing caps, level shift, okay. Would mean that numlock, caps lock, left U are all pressed. Okay, finally Unicode field stores 16-bit Unicode value of the key. Note, it should be noted and understood that this field is only valid with STL key sims. Okay. So that's key sim. Then there's keyboard event, which contains the key sim and the state being up, key down, no. Yeah, key up, key down. Or rather the type. Field but uses different value. The state is largely redundant, but so it's the same information type, uses different value released or pressed. Key sim contains information key pressed. Event represents information of the key press or release. Okay. Reading keyboard events from the event queue is quite simple. Just pull for the event, you get key down, key up. Init video mode. I wonder if that's an old version thing because I'm not sure what that is. Enable Unicode. Key up, key down, print key info. Key type SDL key up. Release, press. So it'll have in the structure whether it's a key up, key down event, so I can treat these the same thing. I just have to switch them off in the middle since they're going to be essentially the same thing. Now the scan code stuff, I'm going to take that out. Just do that for now. Let's see. So released, key up, key down. Let's see, scan code, don't care. Name, get key name. Interesting. We want to print the Unicode info. We need to make sure it does not key down. And modifiers, which I don't really care about right now. So use the type to figure out whether it's key up or key down. Keyboard event. And actually what I should do here is say something like static void handle keyboard input. Yell event, no, keyboard event. I'll have that by just oh, not M gesture, you stupid thing. There. Okay. So now we got in here, we got our keyboard event. So now we want to transfer this over to the state that I'll be using, because even though I want to put a layer between, just a control layer between SDL and what I do, just in case I ever want to, well, I mean, that's thinking way ahead as far as, oh, in case I want to change it. I mean, SDL is pretty portable, so why wouldn't I just bind myself into it? I'm not sure. I just like to keep things separate from the underlying layers, I guess. SDL was really the platformy stuff, and this is kind of the crossover between the platformy stuff and where my game is going to exist. So now if I get the current state, the current state will have to have been initialized somewheres, which if I create it like kind of like a like a singleton type thing, which is what it really is essentially, because there's usually only one keyboard. Now you could have more than one keyboard, but I don't know if I care about that, because it's only usually going to be one player playing. I'd want to do something like, now the event.key so there's the Unicode value of it. And the sim is what I probably need. The sim field decides the SDL key value of the key being pressed or released. Let's take a look at the other tutorial I was looking at, how he kind of does it. SDL key up, down, left, right. So if keyboard event interesting. There's a lot more in here than what I expected there to be. Anyways, keysim dot sim equals SDL key. Let's go W. What is SDL key www? Interesting. Why would it be lowercase w is the question? That's kind of weird, right? I suppose that's to kind of differentiate from other stuff. Well, lowercase w then. So I want to tell my keyboard state to go up or down. I'll need my own enumeration of keys probably. Something like that. And then it would be probably keyboard state, I think was it state or type that they used. Type. key down. Now this will be good for things like when you've got you know, you're trying to you know, WASD move around like a first-person shooter would be, but I wonder how they would get keyboard, like STL2 keyboard input for if it was like a text box. For something like a text box. Text input. And a keyboard, okay. Yeah, it's not as simple as it seems. I've dealt with that before. Text input. Okay, so there's a different kind of event for that, which would be is perfect. So I'll just ignore it for now. What did I name? Key. Like key. Not key. This is key. And this would have to be is down then. So if we went something like keyboard state, set key state, key, and then we'll show them to include keyboard H. That's not just that, it should be set get is down. Something like that. Now the real question is, how could I convert all of these into my versions? Easy, and I bet they go in order. Oh, they're actually the values of them. So they probably do go in order by ASCII value, and then you get up into here. That's kind of cool how they do that. I should probably do it that way as well. Why wouldn't I, right? I can just copy what they've got and basically do the same thing, just in my namespace. course, all of this stuff up here I'm probably never going to use. Scan code to key code. Well, I might use left, right, and all that kind of stuff because they don't really have. Why would they skip the uppercase? I mean, why not just have, unless they all come in lowercase. But I don't really like, you know what, this feels really dirty. I don't know if I want to do it like this. Again, overthinking, way overthinking everything. Just go like that for now. I do like, I'll keep with my consistent invalid. I'm really not sure what this looks going to look like in the end. I'm curious. Key. Oh shoot, did I? But I called it keys again. Son of a goose. So now I've got to presumably have some big sort of long thing here. So I'm going to have to make this cleaner at some point in time. But for now, I'll just get the ones that I'm going to be, I know I'll be using off the bat here. I suppose I could just make this a big switch. But WASD. And there you can see that my dogs freak out about stuff. My daughter's calling me. Should probably go see what she wants. I don't know if she just wants to ring the doorbell or what. But I will maybe be right back. Yes, hon? I'm back. This is... I don't know. Anyways. So, because I'm getting some sort of... Let's just start implementing this stuff, right? Just a reference. What am I doing? I so far need to figure that out. And really, this struct doesn't need to be, if I'm always going through an accessor, it really doesn't need to be available. Something like that. Oh. Can I just do that in a single line like that? All right. Everything looks good there. Everything looks good there. That gets our state. Now, I think if you create something like this, it will initialize it to all zeros right off the bat. If you have a static global argument or static global variable. So I shouldn't need to worry about that there necessarily. I could create some sort of global initializer, I suppose, if it becomes a problem. But yeah, I don't know. So this really doesn't even need to be a structure. Could be something else completely, entirely different. Could just be an array, right? An array of booleans, and maybe that's all it contains. Key states. I wonder how many key states they actually would have. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with like the ASCII table size or something like that. As many as we can chars. 256, right? Actually, yeah, this is really just not coming together the way I thought it was going to. Just really kind of hosed. We'll do something like this. Oh, no. I hate how you have to just like, you have to call out every single key. It's just annoying. That's what bothers me about this. But it's preventing me from getting in the way. So let's just say that I give it some sort of universally sized thing. And I just go, keyboard is down, return key states. It really doesn't matter. And I already broke my also broke it here, just realized. States. Okay. Now, presumably, I should be able to come in here. Set state. This isn't actually. Would I ever really need to get state? No. I doesn't need to know anything about this, really. All I need to know is keyboard set is down. Keyboard. Get is down. Why would I need any other? Oh, you know what? It's because I want to store the state between rounds. That's right. Oops. It'll all make sense later why I'm not just doing that. Of course, I won't know the size to actually store a copy of it. Unless I return it like that. This just feels all wrong. Okay, again, we got to separate out the keyboard itself and are my in-memory representation of what the keyboard state is from an actual usable instance of keyboard state. And that's probably why I'm getting hosed here. Because keyboard.getState should just return something that is a copy of something of the keyboard state. Doesn't help, I've got a headache right now. So this is stuff I can do on the keyboard itself. And that affects the in memory. You know what? I'm gonna nuke this all. Start over from scratch because I'm getting stuck in the thought on it, and it's just not healthy here. So think about it from using standpoint. I want to be able to just say keyboard. Actually, update key state, right? I give it the key, and then I tell it is down. That's it. That is all I really need to do from this side. So these, and this will be that equals 0, which is what I had before. So I should have just left this because I knew I was going to need it. Why is that getting mad? Type def spell enum, not struct. Let's just go like that for now. I'm getting ahead of myself is a problem. Void keyboard update key state. And all I want to do is say key, and it's down. That's it. That's all I need to do at this point until I get usage figured out, right? Cool. That'll set all of them to false, right? Okay. Update key state. Took that out after I updated it. Handle keyboard input is not defined. Again, this is the kind of problem with doing it this way, is you have to go and update things. Okay. So now what I should be able to do here is, let's pretend this all worked. And now I'm in my actual, read events. And now I'm in basically an update, game logic, and then some sort of render frame, right? So now if I'm in some sort of a thing, I should be able to do something like keyboard state, state equals keyboard get state. State and then do something like if keyboard state is down, keys W. Okay, so that's what I want to be able to do. Really, I mean, I don't even need 256 at this point because I don't really exactly have that many keys in there, so just make it smaller for the sake of just proving that this works. I'll look for a more elegant way of doing this later. So I'll make this, instead of a static bool G keys, I'll make it G static keyboard state keyboard KB state. Okay, so that'll return a copy of it. It won't return the pointer to it, which is what I want. Okay, and keyboard. Is that what I called it? Keyboard state is down. So this needs to be like this. Okay, and then that will just, oops. Obviously, so key is down, W is down, it's hitting every time I click, right? So that's working the way I'd expect it to. Now here's where I needed to do it. So think of this as the current state. Why I needed to kind of separate this out. I want to be able to keep a copy of the current state. Right? And we'll just initialize that up right away. Okay, and now we also need previous state, right? So here what we'd say is current state equals get state, and we would save previous state equals current state. So we save the previous state, so we're just kind of, you know, passing this along as we go. And now if the is down current state, or rather is down previous state, and now keyboard state, rather, and it wasn't down before, or rather it's not down now, then we say was pressed. Now this should work. See, I press it once, I hold it. It doesn't trigger until I actually release the key. Which is how I want it to actually go. I want to be able to have that fine grain. Is it up? Is it down? That kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I was looking for with the previous state, current state kind of stuff. So now within kind of like an input class, or input class again, no classes in C, this kind of would be hidden away from me, and I would just say, you know, did I actually do like a forward movement or something like that? So it's an abstraction higher. The keyboard represents what, you know, action I'm taking, the control I'm using. The input would hide that away from me and just say, did I go forward? So I could map different controls in. So anyways, so yeah, so this seems like it's working. Now, this down here, I'm going to do, I need to kind of basically map all the keys or figure out a better way of doing this. I probably just follow their scheme. I could probably handle that. But I'm just going to comment this out for now. I will delete it eventually. I'm going to go ahead and just make a commit point quick. Oh, what am I doing here? I would call this naive keyboard handling. Input handling. Okay. So that gives us some keyboard input stuff. I didn't really even need to go at that point yet, I don't think. I'm not sure why I did go down that as kind of like a rabbit hole or whatever. Again, I kind of just need to take some direction here and go. One thing I do need to do is, but at least shows how kind of I want to handle the inputs. So I need to finish off kind of my game loop here, I think. So we got the poll event, we got handling input, all that stuff. This logic point, now this is going to be, I think it's going to be the entry into the actual game. So really, this is kind of a misnomer saying run game. This is really just run, right? There'll be like a render. Well, I have a run thing, but maybe run game is right versus game run, which would be, or game update, which is more of our thing. So, so let me see here. If I wanted to do, let's call this actual Rellik. No, just Rellik.h. So this really represents kind of the entry point into the game itself. There's going to be a probably some sort of initialize that would be I don't know why it's not recognizing my type. Some sort of update. Here I would need a game time type thing. Which I don't have yet, but I can stub in. Oops. Okay. Just call it like that for now. I'm really inconsistently using pointers here. I need to get on top of that. See, I used to, and I still usually do, try to just kind of, this structure is just kind of abstracted away. All you're getting is a pointer. Although I realize that when you're mixing in structs and what I would call it like C-style classes or whatever, which I would do a lot of here, it's not as clean to just hide away the pointers. So I think that's, I'm going to do it like this, where it is a struct, and I just pass that in the whole time. And this should be probably a one as well. Just so I know exactly what I'm getting. And there'll probably be some sort of Rellik render. And I may or may not need gamepad. These might need to return status codes. I don't know yet. So we'll add those as we need them. So equals null. I don't know really. Sometimes here too, what I'll do is memset the whole thing to just be blank, just to clear out the memory so I don't have just crap laying around, but really I suppose there's no point in doing that. And these are all just kind of pass through at this point, right? Okay. So here within this then, data game logic, I would just go, well, presumably in run game, I've got what I really need this initialize and dispose. Maybe I can just do that all within this one function. Seems kind of crappy just to or well, whatever. We'll just see what happens, right? That'll be at this point. That's really an error for us, I suppose. Log. Now what to call this error? Just call it allocation error, maybe. So now I'm allocating stuff here. Object, use that term. Why not? That wasn't in there. I'll just put this in here just to prove the point of what I was trying to accomplish. Even though this will eventually be in like an input state class or something like that. I could presumably do this kind of a thing. Oops. that's still working. Perfect. Okay. I'm not sure really quite yet how rendering is going to happen. Or some of this other stuff, but all in all, this is starting to come together a little bit better. You know, I think I might just to make my life easier, I'm just going to take all this out and I'm going to throw the main at the bottom. It's not how I normally write code. Well, it's not how I used to, stylistically. But I just don't want to deal with having to keep those up to date up there. So we'll just put the main down here, like a lot of other people do. And call it good. Now, obviously I don't have anything in this dispose or initialize yet. You know, maybe this is stuff I know I'll need later, but why did I stub it in if I don't have it used yet? You know, Yagni, right? You're gonna need it? Well, I don't know that I need it. Why do I have it? Which that was right here. I might need it later, but I'll add it when I need it. Okay, so here's my rudimentary game loop. Yeah. So let's go ahead and commit stub in game loop. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I'm consistently using struct. Yeah, that's all the same there. Perfect. Okay. Cool. All right, so now I need to probably focus on getting the game loop. Just a sec. All right, so where to go here? I've stubbed in time probably. I know I'm going to need that at some point in time. Maybe I don't want to build it till I need it, because right now I just have null passed in there. I know I've got this game time right here. I'm going to have that probably created in here. Right now I'm just passing null, so why don't I do this? Game time. I'll stub it in. Maybe I don't want to pass it in as a pointer, but we'll see. It should be able to be passed by value because it should be constant. It's not going to be a very big structure for sure. So we'll just modify the signature a little bit to make that not a pointer. Again, I won't fill out that until I actually need it. Now I wonder, do I need that predefined up there if I don't use it? Nope, I do need it. No, I just messed up something. I don't need it. I just messed up something else. Handle input not defined. Oh, derp. Because when I did this, I'm an idiot. Run has to go. All of this stuff has to be done in reverse order, essentially. It's like I built a stack that I need to reverse. So main calls up to run, which calls up to run in window. Which calls up to handle input, which calls up to handle input. And this calls into handle input, so that has to be moved up as well. Yes? Oh, just a second. Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you being silly again?
Daddy, look.
You doing it upside down? You be careful, hon. Don't fall.
I want to do it again.
Game time being used without being initialized. Oh yeah, I should probably set that to something right. Set it to so everything's still working correctly. Oh, you okay, hon?
No, let me go. Watch this. Give me.
Why don't you give him his bone back?
No.
Alright. Well, I think I might shut off here the stream for a while and see what's going on behind me here. So, not sure if I'll do any more tonight. But I will be on tomorrow, probably, for sure. I'm trying to do this consistently. So, have a good night.